But for how long will the management of Nigerian club sides keep placing their coaches and even players on half salaries for poor performances? And how about asking a coach to actually step aside or placed on suspension? Well, is this really part of their contract? And when will the league management company finally address this issue? Because right now it's becoming a trend. And of course, Kwara United is the latest to have done this. Hello and welcome. I'm Cecilia Mogbe and you're watching Sport This Morning. Now the headlines. Well, it's Sunday, Oliseh, too expensive for the Super Eagles. But the good news is that the National Sports Commission and the Nigerian Football Federation met yesterday to harmonize the procedure for his appointment. And the spending spree continues for Manchester United. £80 million spent already for 4 players. Now their eyes are on Edison Cavani. Last year they actually spent £150 million and they finished 4th. So how much more will they have to spend to get the trophy this season? Also in the program, Carlos Tevez is back home, and what a welcome he received on arriving at Boca Juniors. And the pre-season is on, and Liverpool are in Thailand, and coach Brendan Rodgers believes the tour will help put the team in shape. He also talked about the fact that Raheem Sterling will be leaving for Manchester City, but he did not really leave, well, in anger. But both of them were actually on good terms. Let's listen to him.
The situation currently is very simple. The club has agreed with another club a deal for Raheem to be transferred, and subject to medical, that will go through. I think the key for us is it's the overall team that is important, and I think obviously, of course, individuals like Raheem will have benefited from the team. We obviously aim to be much stronger and much more competitive than what we were last season, and but that'll be reliant on everyone. As I said, at this moment in time, it's only about the players that have travelled here. As I said, I spoke to Raheem, at length again before I left yesterday, so there's no issue, there's no problem. And
well, that's Brendan Rodgers, of course, talking about pre-season tour, and of course, Raheem Sterling. He said, well, there's no bad blood between them. But Chinasio Boyens joins me now on the program. Chinasio, good morning.
Good morning, Cecilia. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Of course, a lot happening in the world of sports.
Obviously, and of course, well, your club, they are definitely the team to beat this season from the signings they've made so far. Okay, quickly, you guys can talk to us on Twitter, of course, on Facebook. And the question I started with, well, league management company, what are they doing about the issue that clubs usually get to place, well, coaches on half salaries and, of course, the suspensions for poor performances and all that? How can the league management company actually address this issue? Now, Kwara United have actually placed their coach, their technical advisor, Tunde Abdurrahman, on. He has been suspended indefinitely, and the other coaches with him have been placed on half salaries. Now, this actually stemmed from what happened at the weekend. They lost to Sharks of Port Harcourt by a lone goal, and Sharks haven't won a game in 13 matches, and it was their second loss at home. So because of that, the management felt, okay, the coach should actually, take the hit, and of course, he's been suspended. Suspension Nigerian Premier League actually means, well, maybe sack or something, but usually once a coach goes to suspension, he definitely doesn't come back to the club, and of course they start looking for another one. All other coaches have been placed on half salaries. So how will the LMC actually address this issue? That's the question I'm asking this morning. Talk to us on Twitter, of course, on Facebook, what you think and how they can actually address this to make sure that it just doesn't happen again in the Nigerian professional football league, because it's becoming a trend here.
Yeah, it's really becoming a trend, and it's sad. I talked about it on my show this morning, the fact that the man has been placed on indefinite suspension. And I asked, what does that really mean? Has he been sacked? And other coaches being put on half salary. Come on, it's just we're talking about football here. It's not just football; it cuts across. I think the labor union should actually get involved in this. What are the statutes when it comes to things like this? You cannot place a coach on half salary if it's not written in the terms of his contract. I don't think we really take into consideration what is put down on contracts these days, because people, rather management of clubs decide to do what they like. We see them owe players, we see them do or commit all sorts of atrocities as regards labor, and it's not right, you know. But it keeps happening. The LMC now, like you said, it's time for them to step in and let us know what really is happening, so that these guys, the coaches, the players, can have a say and have the rights and know when to take action if it's not really favoring them or if they are being played for fools. So definitely, I do not support this. I think the LMC really needs to step up and let us know what is happening and what can be done.
Here you guys can talk to us on Twitter, of course, on Facebook, what you think about that particular incident. It is really, really becoming too sad for Nigerian football. Now, this man on your screen, of course, Sunday Oliseh, will be unveiled tomorrow. That's according to Nigerian Football Federation. And of course, earlier this week, during the weekend, we actually had news that the NSC were not happy with the way it was actually employed and all that. But right now, they've been able to harmonize the whole thing, and they said it's likely it's going to go ahead. But another question is, they said it's actually too expensive for the team. Is the money too much?
Well, like you said, he's not been unveiled yet, so we don't really know what we've been hearing is speculations,
yes,
and there's nothing concrete on ground. Maybe when we see the money he's being offered, then we'll have an idea if it's going to be, if we would say it's too much or it's not enough, because we know what Stephen earned. You know, I think Stephen earned about 70 million naira annually when he was there as coach of the Super Eagles. So let's see what Sunday Oliseh is going to earn. If he's going to earn more or less, then we'll begin that debate if he's earning too much or if it's too expensive. I think he should get the job first, get a contract, and then we'll now start talking about his earnings. Definitely. Okay,
that's what we will be talking about, because at the end of the day, we'll just wait tomorrow, keep our fingers crossed, see how much. But speculations that's going to be 5 million. Some are even saying, okay, not up to 5 million, more than that. But we'll just see how it's going to pan out tomorrow. Obviously, his unveiling should be successful, and definitely the Nigerian Football Federation should be able to, well, pay all the money. And of course, well, I think they still have the money. World Cup was just last year, and you know how much usually is spent and all that. FIFA and everything. Remember, FIFA actually said last year, you know, 290 whole federation are going to, you know, get something out of the money they actually made, you know, the exercise and all that. But I think Nigerian Football Federation should have some money in their coffers right now. Okay, now talking about the Federation's Cup, of course, the last 16, the venues and of course the fixtures are out, and it's going to be from next week, 22nd of this month, 22nd and 23rd. And you have two matches we played in Abuja, of course, Remo Stars and Lobby Stars. Remo Stars, well, they'll be facing Lobby Stars in round of 16, and Heartland and BJ Foundation of Edo State will also be in action Wednesday 22nd, and Plateau United and Economy Warriors, Kwara United and Enugu Rangers. That's a big one. Kwara United, I don't envy them right now because their coach is a suspension, definitely, and of course all the other coaches have been placed on half salaries. We'll see how, if they can get a coach before that time, or if the ones that have been placed on half salaries can, well, be able to do the job against Enugu Rangers. And Nasarawa United and Abia Warriors will also be in action. Ifeanyi FC and Taraba will be in action. Niger Tornadoes, Feeders and Dolphins will also be in action in the round of 16 for 2015 Federations Cup for the men. For the women, we will still be waiting for the Nigerian Football Federation to release that. Okay, quickly we'll just look at the papers, and we're starting with Sports Day this morning. Of course, the big headline is NFF can't afford Oliseh's salary, funds threaten unveiling ceremony, and NSC kicks. That's on front page of Sports Day. And MNK hit transfer goldmine. Just check how much he will be earning. Just 1 year loan deal at Al Ain of UAE. And of course, the story continues on page 4. And Begovic completes Blues move. Okay, they have a backup keeper right now. Emirates unveil Arsenal plane. That's a good one. Celtic contact Chelsea for Mero, and City take Iheanacho to Australia. Okay, Iheanacho, will he not be playing for the national team? Well, this is not really too good, I would say. The next one is Soccer Star, and of course, it's starting with City offers £100 million plus for Sterling. Okay, right. I'm not Ronaldo. That's coming from the pay. He is warning Man United fans, and Bayern tracks Di Maria. Okay, that's surprising one. NFF Pali NSC over Oliseh and Dream Team. And Sporting Life says Oliseh rejects voting White Hotel. Okay, this is also coming from ahead of his unveiling, and the story is on page 6 of Sporting Life. And of course, you also have Mikel's €5 million pay scares Fenerbahce. Okay, and Siasia Oke's Amesimakas stadium pitch. Ranieri, his name Leicester City boss. Okay, the last one is Complete Sports. And Oliseh, why Eagles must fly again. And Keshi said no grudges against Oliseh. Okay, well, doesn't have a choice. And United complete double deals. That's a big one. And MNK to end 925 million naira for Dubai loan deal just for 1 year. And another one is LMC to honor Yekini to hold NPFL awards. Details of all this will be found inside page of Complete Sports. So which one really?
Well, let's start with I think the penultimate story you talked about, Yakini, the fact that he will be honored. I think it's a great thing. I hear the Golden Boot Award will be named after Rashidi Yakini. You know, great one because I don't think we've honored that man enough. The top scorer in Nigeria, the top scorer ever. You know, in our national team, he was a fantastic striker, very calm person, and he passed away. Nothing was really nothing. No, you know, no fanfare, nothing. I think sometime this year, his club in Portugal, his former club, Victoria Setúbal, they actually did something to remember him. You know, to commemorate his anniversary of his death, and nothing so far. We've not heard anything about here back home about Rashidi Yakini. What will be done for him? What will be done for his family? Nothing, absolutely nothing. And I think this is a good step. The fact that the highest scorer award will be named after him, then I think definitely they should start after that. They should start doing other things to immortalize players like this. I'm still advocating for Samuel Kwaraji, the stadium where he died. I think National Stadium should be named after him, and a lot of other players who have paid their dues and apparently have been forgotten, sort of, except for some of us here, in the world, in the sporting world. I remember the things that these guys did in the world of sports. Remember Sunday Bada too? Yeah. A lot of people there. So I think we should begin immortalizing these greats in some way or the other.
Yeah, because it's definitely going to inspire the younger ones.
Definitely.
Want to see things that have been done for them. And the good one about this Rashidi Yekini is even kids yet unborn and all that. I mean, the next generation will definitely know that yes, there was once one Rashidi Yekini and all that. 37 goals in how many games? I mean, that is really massive, and no player right now is even close to that. And people were thinking, okay, players are coming up like
top scorer in 3 Nations Cup, top scorer in Portugal, top scorer. Come on, the man was just a natural.
That's awesome. We're thinking people like Kelechi Iheanacho might just step into that, but Kelechi Iheanacho are playing for the under-23 team. I was thinking he should be part of that squad. That would definitely help his development and all that. But right now, well, he's on tour with Manchester City. I believe for him, it feels club duty is higher. But for him to break into the first team, Ryan Sterling is already there. I'll see how that pans out. Now, talking about English Premier League. Well, Arsenal, they've started their pre-season too. Of course, as a Wenger, he believes that, well, with what they did last season, they should be able to at least get their hands on, what? EPL title. That's actually what they want, not the FA Cup right now, because they've won it back-to-back, but they just want to see how they can get that. And for him, he's happy with the squad he's currently having.
Look, we finished third in the league and we won the FA Cup. The pressure is on us to do better, but there are plenty of competitors to win the Premier League. You see with the buys who happen, but we'll give absolutely everything to have a chance to do it. Everton and Stoke are 2 competitive teams. Stoke had a great season last year, and they make always life different for you. Premier League are used to play against each other, and the games are always very different and very tight.